and Dave Thomas. This is the Marla and Dave Radio Show.
Real radio.
Welcome to the Marla and Dave Show. The screen was kind of under there, so you probably couldn't really hear what we were saying. But again, welcome to the Marla and Dave Show.
I don't want to talk at the same time as you.
Okay, well.
I want my own
suit yourself.
time.
Talk later.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Marla and Dave Show. I'm Marla.
And I'm Dave.
And for those of you who are joining us for the first time.
Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, when I say we, that's the first chord of We Are Take Six. It's something that we always do for a little tag, but yeah.
We don't care about that because none of us are going to sing that type of harmony with you. So you can keep that to yourself, buddy.
Tony might.
Tony's not.
See? Hey, good job, Tony.
All Tony's doing is a warm-up. That's how little faith you have in us. You say, we. That's all we get to know?
No. We. Those are all the notes. So that's your first note. Go from there. That's not.
I will go from there. Welcome to the Marla and Dave Show. I'm Marla, and I'm here to talk, not learn Take Six parts. Now you want to teach me Take Six parts. Anyway, man, it's good to be back. Last week was kind of disappointing. We expected to be here last week, and literally at the last minute, we had a severe family crisis.
Yeah.
Which always means code for we had to deal with some Moniece drama.
Is that what family crisis
stands
for? Oh, okay.
Something that has to do with Moniece and Cameron. When I say family crisis, that's the code. But anyway, that's just what we've come to expect. But it's all good. The good thing is everyone is healthy. Everyone has traveled through whatever the obstacle was. And now we are here on our show, happy and alive and good to be with our buddy, Mr. Tony Token Sweet.
Yes. Oh, man. So, Marla, tell us what's been going on. You've been doing the love and hip-hop thing.
Let me say this before I go any further, because I think every week what's happening lately is that we have new people. We have our MaD family, who are our regulars, which we appreciate each and every one of you. But for those people who are beginning to log on for the first time, let me tell you a little teeny bit about who we are. I am Marla, and he is Dave. I have a vagina, he has a penis, but there's a piece of paper that says that our vagina and penis belong together for the last almost 28 years, which means that we're married, which means that there's a lot of real life that happens between us. Dave is a member of Take Six. I am the person who is just his wife, who's raised his children, and who listens to the music ineffectively because I don't know anything about we. That's all I'm saying.
One note too many. Sorry. For you just have to worry about the first part. Wee.
No, listen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this week is going to be a good show. We've had a lot to catch up on over the last 2 weeks now. Our prayers still are going out. It was the tragedy in Paris. Was so horrific.
So unnecessary.
And just, the sad thing is, I just think that you have to become mentally tough because terror is something that's only effective if you actually allow yourself to be terrorized. Because if you want me to just be frank instead of Marla, you're not ever really going to be able to control terror, unfortunately. You can't. I mean, you can try to mitigate some issues, some circumstances, and try to, be as safe as possible. But you kind of just got to get your life right.
I was literally having a conversation with somebody this week, and they were like, well, do you think that? I said, no. I mean, when you have a free society, safety is an illusion. This can happen at any time, anywhere.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
One thing that we always like to do as well is, especially when we consider the show that we're about to do, which we want to open the lines up today at 323-284-7826, because a lot of people, Tony, are very disturbed by what they see as my parenting skills after watching Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
Would it be skills or style? How would you say that?
It's whatever the hell. The bottom line is
parenting whatever the hell.
They're parenting whatever the hell. They're disturbed by it. And so you know what? Maybe you know something I don't know. But
maybe you think you know something.
Maybe you do. I mean, of course I'm going to shut you down because none of you have raised Moniece but me and Dave. But the bottom line is
but you might have a point. Call in.
Yeah, you might. You might be able to break this tough girl down. It's possible.
Oh,
you might want to be able to crack this hard shell.
Good luck.
Anyway, let me hear let's because I'm going to need this, Tony. I'd like to play a little bit of my mood song.
The ship without a sail, I'm lost without your
No, she's still singing. That's better than wee, 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 wee.
Well, that's because it's one part. And I really do need help. And so at all times, by the way, I do always encourage, as I do for others, none of us are perfect. So, if you think you see something that's crazy, pray for me. How about that?
Well, Tony, hit me. What's my mood song?
Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say.
Say what you need to say.
Since this is the Marla and Dave show, I actually thought I would give Marla some backup and say, "Go ahead, girl. Say what you need to say.
Don't mind what you need to say.
Don't mind what they say. Go ahead and say what you got to say." Because I know somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Can somebody say, Moniece, what?
Yeah. So I'm beginning to call the love and hip hop saga of my life mindless madness. A lot of it is mindless, and a lot of it when people don't have the ability, Tony, to step back and use their common sense. And I will even say this: if you see it on TV, reality TV doesn't necessarily mean unreal, but definitely shaped to complete a storyline based on what it is that the show is trying to project. Which, of course, if you want to have a successful show, don't be silly, people. They want you to come back. So that's part of it.
Well, Marla, is it something kind of like how you do me when we get on Periscope or anything else? You try to kind of be the bad guy and make me out to be the bad guy. In our Periscopes, I'm the bad guy.
No, you are. David, You know what?
See, there you go. See, Tony?
You know what I called Tony? You know what I called David today, which I'll get into that a little bit later? David is a nocturnal asshole, for the record. At home, at night,
has the sun gone down yet?
Yeah, and here
it goes.
This is fall sunlight. That's why he's still happy. When the lights go off, wait and see. He's
that is true.
He's puckering
that is
all
true.
The way to the street.
That is kind of true. The later it gets, if I get tired, suddenly my blood sugar's gone. It's time to go to bed.
I don't know how that could happen when you eat a bucket of popcorn every night.
That's just to stay healthy.
Really?
Yeah, that's
popcorn
my health food.
Keeps what happened to the apple?
That's my
I thought
health
it was
food.
an apple a day.
Popcorn keeps the Marla away.
Oh my God! I have to try to eat up the junk in our house just to save Dave. It's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, last night the American Music Awards were on.
Hey, last night The Wizard of Oz was on.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tony should have watched it.
I had to leave.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas was on last night.
David is having. I don't understand how he's getting into this. I'm expecting that July 4th next year he'll be into Christmas specials and putting up the tree. I don't know. I don't even know who you are.
No, because back in the day, it was a tradition. The Wizard of Oz came on Thanksgiving night, and it came on the following night as well.
Yes, but now it's weeks in advance.
It's coming on so early, so I had to watch it because it's not going to come on Thanksgiving. And they were playing Christmas stuff already. I love those shows.
You can't see actually into my nose, can you? Okay. Anyway. Man, the last thing is, let's talk about Take 6. I really wish you guys would get back on the road and get the hell out of here because I need my space back.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See
I'm
how
sorry.
that works? How that works?
Then I thought I was about to order a steak, but now because you're not going anywhere, I'm back to tofurkey. I don't get it. Anyway, but your album, your single is out, and congratulations.
Climbing the charts. We'll be up at in the 40s next week.
And congrats to Layla, who will be here next week.
Absolutely.
And her new live album is also...
She's been killing.
She's killing. She's blowing it up.
About to release a new single, which I'm sure she's going to tell us about next week.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about our parenting of our adult children. Are we out of line?
You're listening to the Marla and Dave radio show on the Universal Broadcast Network. Current events, pop culture, the hot topics of the day. It's time for MaD News on the Marla and Dave radio show. Ladies and gentlemen, Marla and Dave.
Okay, guys, we were actually sitting in our den. We were sitting there on our computers trolling the web for news stories, and this popped out at me. It was hilarious. Two girls. There was a
couple of weeks ago.
Convenience store. Yeah, convenience store security camera caught a guy was in there on his phone. Two girls walked in and pretty scantily clad. They looked like they were women of the evening.
Thoughts.
Yeah. And
that hoe over there for people our age.
One seemed like she wasn't even interested in the guy. Suddenly, she just backed up into him and started kind of twerking on him. Then the other girl came around, and she was literally trying to grope him, and he kept trying to get away. As the story turns out, the guy got out, called the cops, and they were picked up for harassing this guy by twerking on him.
And everybody doesn't want your ass in their lap.
And at first I was thinking about what's wrong with this guy. At least, it's some harmless fun, and plus he gets to grind up on something. Then I found out that they were with some other guys, and the guys were outside seemingly telling these girls to kind of go in. So he kind of felt like he was about to be
being trafficked,
roped in to literally being picked up and pickpocketed.
Do you
or
think,
even something
though,
worse.
that if he didn't think that, he would have just been like, yes.
Probably.
Back that thing. Back it up. If he didn't think it was dangerous, he put his shoulder in it.
He probably looked at the camera to see, is my wife going to get access to this? And then other than that, yeah.
That's a good one, because I really do think that it's very interesting that you would imagine. Most people think that every time that a woman makes a sexual advance at a guy, he's just going to be all into it. But think again, and kids are out of control. That's just out of control. Yeah. That's out of control.
And that's another good point. He might have considered that they were too young and he's going to get in trouble. And kids are out of control.
Has bred some insanity to think that you're entitled enough to put your ass in a stranger's. Anyway.
Online, Nicole is saying it was a setup. I think it was a setup, too.
Well, good.
Obviously, so did he.
They did, too. Now they're setting up in jail. So here we go.
Anyway, we're late to the party because, again, we weren't here last week, but Ronda Rousey got knocked out. Yeah, she just got KO'd.
That's good, though, because I'm just going to tell you, the next person that Ronda Rousey fights, the next chick she fights, is probably going to pretty much be decapitated or have every single solitary organ ruptured or become paralyzed, because she's going to come back with such a vengeance, because she was so confident and cocky. But once you get to a point where you're that dominant, people train to beat you. The whole field is working to obliterate you.
Well, you remember when Tyson was just dominating the heavyweight category in boxing.
He was so dominant, he just started eating ears.
Once he got beat, suddenly people seemed to have the confidence, people seemed to actually have the strategy, and suddenly he was a thing of the past.
Yep, he just got knocked out. Okay, so Dave, let me just say this. I know this news story, it might hurt your feelings, but I think that there's some merit to it. I think that now they're beginning to, this is our agree to disagree, they're beginning to do studies, you're into research, that say that
you into research.
You is kind, you is true,
and into
you
research.
Is researching. They're saying, Dave, that it actually is a good thing in a relationship now, much like having his and her bathrooms, that it preserves the integrity of your passionate love relationship to have different bedrooms. That's the new thing. Now, I think that that's a magnificent idea. As a matter of fact, I'm petitioning that the marriage should stay intact, but I think his and her homes would be nice as well.
His and her states.
I think his and her countries might work out. I'm just saying.
Now, of course, this is the agree to disagree, but I actually agree with his and her bedrooms.
Okay, well, it's on when we get home.
You can meet on either side, keep it fresh if you want to, or you can, have a...
Dave, you can't even stay on your side of the bed.
I'm going to be in your room. Don't get me wrong. But when I'm done, I'm going to my own room.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Watching my own TV.
That's hilarious. Anyway, so he says he agrees, but I honestly think that it's a good idea. You know what? Sometimes you want to preserve the mystique, and maybe his and her bedrooms are a good thing to do.
Mystique? Oh, please. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
This ain't your mama's radio show. Can you handle the truth? Then get ready for a real radio experience. Ladies and gentlemen, Marla and Dave.
All right, again, we want to hear from you guys today because...
Is Marla out of control?
Is Marla out of control? Of course, the answer is yes.
Is everything you've seen on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood about Marla true? Dun, dun, dun.
Call us at 323-284-7826. Again, 323-284-7826. So now we're going to start right in.
Well, can I say this?
All right, go ahead.
I get excited every now and then when we get to do the MaD only shows, which today we have no guests because we chose to make this all about Marla and Dave topic-related issues. And it's cool. We can talk to Tony. Tony, keep your mic on today all day. We want you to be our non-silent guest in the room.
Yeah, you're going to break the ties.
Yeah.
I regret it.
I'm not so silent.
So we have Tony Sweet with us, by the way. You don't get to see him. I should Periscope so you can see Tony during the show. But Tony is a very, very attractive man with a very, very...
I didn't quite hear that.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
We need that said again.
He is. He's a cutie.
His hands are constantly moving.
He's good with his hands.
He's
That's a good
controlling
point,
the boards.
Dave, you're observing an awful lot about Mr. Sweet. Do you want to...
Sorry, Marla.
Okay, so look. So today we have... Ow, that hurt. I ate
Yeah,
Mike.
Marla, this might be phallic, but it's going to kind of hurt when you
but
try to...
That's what I heard. You saw I used teeth, right? So clearly I wasn't going there. Anyway,
I'm just joking.
if you're a parent of adolescent kids, I believe that tough love really just can't be avoided. That's my belief. And, you know, recently with my appearance on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, it's been raising a lot of questions and comments about the definition, of support versus...
Bless you, kinda.
of a support versus abandonment.
All right, so hold on, Marla. As you're talking, we have a caller already anxious to talk to you. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line with Marla and Dave. What's your name? Caller, you're on with Marla and Dave. What's your name?
My name's Lisa.
Hi,
Hey,
Lisa.
What's up?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Hi,
Washington,
Lisa.
D.C. in the house. Lisa, what's your question or comment to either Marla and or I?
I want to make a comment in regards to Marla and her parenting with Moniece. I actually am on Marla's side.
Okay.
I'm 42 years old. I have 2 kids. I have a 24-year-old son, and I have a 20-year-old daughter who's in college. And I somewhat relate to what Marla's going through because my son is also in the rap industry. And recently, me and him had a situation where he disrespected me, basically told me I don't do anything for him.
Wow.
He just said things where the person he was talking about, I didn't see that it was me at all under no situation. I wound up putting him out because I felt that I had to use a tough love approach. As much as it hurt me, I had to let him see that the grass wasn't green on the other side. And what the younger adults do, they portray this image in their head to make it seem like they're the ones that's being attacked by their parents because they can't go out here and live these risque lives in the music industry. To me, go to college, find a different route. I don't mind you doing that as a leisure thing, but if you don't have a job and I'm supporting your passion of wanting to do the music industry, I'm paying for your music to be put on these different social network sites.
Wait a minute, Lisa. Can I interrupt you for a second? Did you say you were paying for him to actually be a part of these social network sites for him to exploit his music?
Exactly. I was supporting him 100%, paying for him to put his mixtapes on these different... I'm not really familiar because I was just basically funding him to put his mixtapes out. I was supporting him as far as advertisements. When he travels, I was paying his travel fees for him to get planes to Miami. Meaning, he is very talented. So I knew by putting him out on that platform, he was going to get discovered. So my thing is, I'm going to let you for the first 2 years do you. And I felt that that's my son. I've raised him to be a man. He's doing everything right, never been in trouble. I work for law enforcement, but I looked at him as though I'm going to support him. Buying his plane tickets, and he puckers out his lips 2 months ago and tells me I don't absolutely do nothing for him.
Yeah,
I
see.
for his plane tickets, transfer money in his account when Miami, Atlanta, California, everywhere he went, Mom was supporting him until he started really getting paid for what he does.
Well, it sounds like the DC
within the last 6 months.
It sounds like the DC police force pays well.
I was about to say I would love to talk to this young man because as tough as people think I am not trained in a firearm. Sounds like you are, Lisa.
Yeah,
he should really watch his. He should be careful.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? And we appreciate you calling and sharing your story. You know, and that is, I'm glad to hear what you're saying because it's a voice that in their generation, and I'm actually getting a lot of feedback from other parents who are on the opposite side of a Lisa and Marla reality.
Marla, can I ask Lisa a question?
Sure,
right quick?
absolutely.
Lisa,
I insist.
Lisa, you said that your son was kind of popping off to you. Was his father in the home as well?
Well, my husband, who we've been married for 15 years, is his stepfather. They have a very good relationship. My husband was actually at home when we had this altercation. I mean, trust me, I got a tough side to me. You can go back and forth with me verbally, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have the last word. Get the hell up out, excuse my language.
No,
Get
it's
up out
okay.
my
It's
house.
all good.
The final results, this happened about 3 months ago. The final results was, because my thing is, you're going to come back on bended knee. When you come to me, you're going to come back to me correct. About 3 weeks ago, he started with, they young, so they do the text message.
Right.
He sent me a text message. He did like a little song similar to a Tupac song, Dear Mama type thing, where basically he going to show me that, one, he's sorry. He didn't verbally say it. He did it through a text message, used music to convey how sorry he was, because my husband had talked to him. And it took, I want to say, a month and a half, because he went to go stay with my mom. It took a month and a half. He started with a text message. I slowly worked him back in. He just came home the week before last. I let him come back home. We have a contract where he got to be in my house at a certain time. He doesn't have a key to my house. So in order for him to get in, I have to be home to let him in. It's just different agreements that we worked out. But we sat down and verbally talked once he came home. He tearfully apologized to me, said he was going through things. He didn't mean to say it. He had a lot on his mind. The spiel that they give you with the excuse, I heard what he said, but at the end of the day, I don't forget what you said to me and how you said it to me. Again, God is good. He's back
All the
home.
time.
He's been home now for 2.5 weeks. We talk, we work things out, and eventually he'll work back up to the trust level that I need him to, where he'll get the key back.
There you
he's
go.
doing really good with his music. He's starting to get paid.
Now, are you
doing
still
different
supporting his
events.
music
He's
the
been
same way?
performing at different locations in D.C., traveling out the states. So, again, I'm still going to support him because at the end of the day, that's my son. I love him. He's 24 years old, and all the things he could be doing wrong, it's a positive side out of everything. Kids love him. You know, he do back-to-school drives. He's doing a turkey drive this weekend to give turkey away to low-income communities. It's a lot of positive things, so the positives outweigh the negatives.
Well,
It
Lisa,
really does. So in my situation, we working back to the level where we need to be on a trust level where I can let my guard back down. Because right now, that tough side of me, even though me and my husband talked about it, it's like, nah, I can't really let it down. I got to let him see that I'm not playing with him.
Well, we appreciate...
Lay down, he may try me again, and I don't want it to go to the left.
Right.
And it's worse than it was the last time.
Well, Lisa, first of all, thanks for calling
Absolutely.
so much. And we want you to keep calling back. And first of all,
I was going to say, log into our, keep us up to date on your.
I will, and I do follow you on Periscope. I just started following you this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I'm on Periscope with you when you sign in. And I will keep you up to date. And if ever you want to talk to him, I'm quite sure he'll be open to it because he's very open and honest. And he'll probably give you more details.
Well, the cool thing about it is next time you can have your son calling as well. And thanks for calling for the record. But I'm going to say this. The great thing about it is, and this is what most people don't understand about mothers, sometimes, or parents in general, but specifically mothers, sometimes they have to show that tough side. But at the end of the day, they love their children. And at the end of the day, he came back home. He was let back in the house. As long as he operates within the new paradigm of adult children living with their parents, everything is going to be cool. And his mom Lisa sounds like a proud parent.
Yeah. She's got it together there. So, you know, that's the thing that's interesting, which is why I say I was really glad to hear her story because tough love, it seems like I'm getting a lot of, and maybe it's just the empty can, mindless people who are speaking out because people who really have something to do don't even have time to be, you know, clapping back and yapping on Instagram and Facebook when it comes to matters of the heart because they're actually managing their kids. But, you know, the interesting thing about it is I'll say this. There's nobody in TV land, I don't care, or in the street, nobody, even Moniece's biological father, has not been a part of the day-to-day of raising Moniece, period. Only David, myself and David are the only two people who've been there from the ground floor every single solitary day.
Well, I'm so glad that Lisa called up, because that kind of sets the table for what I was about to say, because Moniece knows better than to say some of the things, at least she should know better, that come out of her mouth, as if some people we haven't been there for her.
I know, but
it's just like Lisa's son. Suddenly you grow up and you actually popped out of the womb at a grown person, and you were always living on your own, as if you didn't get raised. How'd you eat for the last 20-some-odd years?
The problem, though, this is the interesting thing about it. You know, when I had the same idea in mind when I put Moniece out at 18, what's happening, Tony? I'm full of gas. Oh, my goodness. When I put Moniece out at 18, but the difference is she has never, ever come back. It's not in her design. Moniece has other obstacles that prohibit her from actually ever taking responsibility, which with Lisa's son, what she's describing is her son recognized, wait a minute.
Came back on bended knee.
I'm tripping.
Tearfully.
I'm tripping.
Wrote a, dear mama. Yeah, mama. I forgot how the song went. Marla, help me out.
No.
How'd the song go?
I'm not.
You're just going to leave me hanging?
I am. We. Remember the thing? That's all you know.
Touche.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that it becomes a lot harder, because when you're dealing with Moniece, her pathology doesn't allow her to accept responsibility. If so, she would grow.
Allows her to accept responsibility sometimes. When she emotionally gets up to a certain level, it's out the window. It's true.
So, yeah, but not enough to actually become accountable enough to change consistently.
That's true.
That's a fact. So, you know, when we talk about that, it's interesting. And I find it interesting because it does take a lot of self-control, Tony. You should ask me how much.
How much?
So much self-control, Tony.
Tony, that was me. How much?
How much? How high? How am I supposed to take responsibility? How? It takes a lot of self-control to not respond to people who challenge your love relationship. And to me, because what you're projecting or what you're espousing in your ignorance is that essentially I'm her mother and I'm still here. See, someone who's been abandoned, you're not ever seeing me because I'm long gone. Somebody who says I hate you, I'm done with you, is not still
right.
at 30
you don't
years
get to come
old
back.
Trying to work it out when you're a grown ass person.
Is that person a grown ass or
a grown ass
person?
Well, because a grown
ass person
a grown
or a
ass
grown
person. That means that once you say ass, you can't get any more grown. Like ass is like the end of it. It's like amen. Like when we talk about grownness,
that's like
it's like
ratchet amen.
It's like amen.
That's
right.
the ratchet version of
grown
amen.
Ass. See, that's what we do. Is hi.
Oh, wow. You said C. I heard that.
Hi.
Anyway.
Hi.
Marla, so the question
Hi.
was posed. You asked about the term tough love. I don't think there's such a thing as tough love. I think love is tough when it needs to be. It's tender when it needs to be. And unfortunately, some people need it to be tough more often than not. Plain and simple.
If there's love see, the thing about it is I think that what is being challenged is the parenting born from love. And what I'm saying is, according to what I've been reading and according to the comments that people are making, if you do not comply with this generation in a lot of cases and in the ratchet sector of what they want, then you're not loving them. See, now that's the next thing. If
we keep talking about ratchet. Moniece was not raised in that way.
But
in
she's
any
adopted,
shape, form, and fashion.
But in her mind, let's just be real. She has not
None
been
of our
raised.
kids were.
But for her, Moniece has either her head is gassed because she's believing all the things that people are saying, and you know, Moniece is brilliant. She's funny. She's beautiful. So
she has everything going for her.
Right. So it's easy to be attracted to Moniece because Moniece has the it factor. And so the substance that people may be looking for doesn't matter. Because it has to. Because you have to. It has to matter to you.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Caller, go ahead. I know who this is. Let me try to intuit this. Is this someone with a big head? Caller, go on. You're on with Marla and Dave.
Marla and Dave, it's Lamont from DC. How you doing?
Oh, it is somebody with the big head.
He tried to call you out, Lamont.
I was just joking, man. You didn't even hear me.
I did.
Didn't even hear me.
I guess.
Oh, you ignore me. I hear you.
There's a delay. There's a delay. Don't listen to him. Hi, Lamont. Hi, Boo. How you doing, Lamont? Say hey to Kelly. Hey.
All is well. So, you guys said something that I was thinking about. I wanted to comment on it, about the love, the tough love part.
Mm-hmm.
Dave said that, there really isn't tough love. For me, my definition of love is for, me wanting the best for you, whoever you are, whether it's my child, my friend, my wife, whatever. And sometimes when you want the best for people, you have to want the best for them, even if that's not what they're seeking or what they seem to be, what they want. I don't know if I'm saying that accurately.
Right.
No, we get you. We get you.
And with what I see with the younger generation is that, and you guys touched on it a little bit earlier, what they think is best for them and what they really want is not always the right thing. And without them having the opportunity to be on this planet and experience the things that we've had the opportunity to experience, they just don't know. When we were young and our parents told us no, that was pretty much the end of the discussion, because we just trusted and believed that they had our best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm. Or we ignored them and paid the full consequence of that situation.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
And we got our butts kicked on a regular basis.
By life.
But look, I made a mistake when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, when I was in college, and I called my dad to help me get out of that situation. And he basically said to me, son, you got yourself into it. You get yourself out of it, and you hang up the phone.
Yep.
So, so what I had to do was learn, A, that was not the right thing to do, and B, not to make that mistake again. We don't allow our children to make those kind of mistakes.
Lamont, hold that thought right there. We're going to take a quick break, but we want you to come back because you always have great words of wisdom. Don't go anywhere. Hang with us right quick through this break. We'll be back with more of what Lamont has to say in a second. We'll be right back.
Hey, guys, listen up. Learn something. 26 years of marriage from two unique perspectives equals 52 years of relationship experience. It's time for Ask Marla and Dave. Answers to your questions about life, love, and relationship based on Marla and Dave's real-life experience. It's about to get real. Ask Marla and Dave.
All right, so clearly this is the segment where you ask us anything that's on your mind, and we promise to tell you the truth. We don't hold anything back, and clearly today, I'm looking at my document that we create for the show. I have nothing on my screen, so clearly Marla knows what the question is for today. Marla, boom.
Tony, what would you like to ask me? I didn't pull an Ask Marla and Dave question.
I have one. Marla, this is based on your time spent on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Do you think that today's generation is everybody's crazy or just a certain segment of today's youth?
I say it would be 60-40.
60-40.
Even 65 to 35. Because I really do think that because that behavior is trending. That's why. Okay. It's a trending behavior. So the 35, the minority percentage of young people are having to go opposite the flow, because now the flow is entitlement and ratchetivity. And
here's the follow-up question. What, if anything, would you have done differently in raising Moniece?
You know what? I would have moved out of the state much faster and gotten away from the madness very quickly. No, you know what? I can't say that I would have done anything differently, because I've morphed through the years to do everything that I think would work. So Moniece has challenged me the most of all three of my children in just trying to figure out. I've been permissive. I've been hardcore. I've been doting. I've been coddling. I've been tougher.
You feel you've tried everything.
I've done everything I can do, including, if you need to lie, I'm not going to dig through your lies, but I can't accept and say your lies are okay with me. I just let you tell the lie and move on, which is not even my personality. So I've done it all, but the reality is, all I can say is I would just keep praying, because I'm still praying.
And this has been the Ask Marla and Dave. Today it's been Dave asking Marla. Again, call us anytime, 323-284-7826. We love to hear from you. Back to the show.
Welcome back to the Marla and Dave radio show. Marla and Dave want to talk to you. Phone lines are open at 323-284-7826. 323-284-7826.
All right, we're back on with Lamont. You still there?
I am.
Okay. So now we were just talking about the fact that, Lamont was telling us before we went to the break that one of the lessons he learned, he had an incident. Lamont, I don't know why I have so much gas. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. But anyway, he had an incident. It's not right.
We hear Mrs. Baxter in the background cracking up.
It's bad. I don't know. I can at least assure you this, and Tony's here, his mic is on, that it is, unfortunately.
Lisa's coming out the good end.
Well,
there you go.
There's good gas and
bad gas. Is there something else you want to admit to something?
Anyway, so Lamont, so I wanted to just remind our listeners that before we went to the break, you were talking about learning a lesson, a tactical lesson in your own life when you were younger, and you went in whatever trouble you got into in Atlanta, Georgia. Your
made
dad
you deal with your own issues.
You got in it, get yourself out of it.
The question that I have for you, Lamont, though, is that after that, did it affect your relationship to your father in any way, negatively or positively?
Well, me being young and immature, I felt as if, he didn't care and all of that old goofy stuff. But as I started to mature, it became obvious to me that was a teaching moment.
Right.
And so that also formed the way that I deal with people and from this point forward. You have to give people an opportunity to make decisions, good, bad, or whatever.
Indifferent.
And, once they feel the pain, then, hopefully they get smarter from it. Now, that happens. I heard you guys say something about, common sense. Being a former police officer, I know common sense is really not that common. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that people do and the reasons they do them are, ill thought out at best. But if you don't give folks the opportunity to at least go out there and make the failure, there's no learning opportunity there.
All right. Well, Lamont, first of all, as usual, great phone call. Thanks for calling, man. We're going to be at Mimi's for Thanksgiving. You might want to come out and play around the golf.
Tony, hang him up. Yes, hang him up before he starts talking.
I was just texting with her, and she was asking me if I was bringing
You know what? Tony, do we have a distortion button? Distortion.
Marla's trying to talk over you, man, but thanks for calling.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. Wow. Let me say this, too. Big shout out to C.C, who was in our chat room. C.C was on our show the last live show we had here at the Marla and Dave show. An incredible young video. How would you say it? She's a video comedian. She's a YouTube sensation.
She's a YouTube comedian. She's a social network comedian. I think I coined that last week or a couple of weeks ago.
It was also really good to see that that she was
very grounded.
Yeah, just a good person.
Absolutely.
So, a big shout out to her. So check her out, C.C TV, every week, see what she's got going on. I don't know why.
I think Lamont, I thought you were done, but if you're not. But
I'm never done.
If you are. Anyway,
okay.
I think Lamont brought up a good point. What he was basically saying is in his immaturity, he looked at what his father said to him and made him deal with his own issues as if he was being dissed. And I think that applies to kind of what Nicole is saying here in the chat room. She says ratchetivity has always existed. It's just trending now
right.
In the media. And I think because of that, it's suppressing the maturity rate, the rate of maturity for what we call young people. 28 is not even close to being young.
Here's what's funny about that.
In your 20s,
Tony,
we were grown in our teens
when I
back in the day.
was 28 years old, I had been the mother of 3 children for 4 years, all 3, meaning that the last one was born 4 years between that span. So I had been the mother of 3 children from 19 at 28 years old. So what is that, 11 years, 9 years, 8?
19 and 28 is not no, sweetie. That's 9 years.
14 years?
That's 9 years.
I have gas. I can't count. Anyway,
So you've been the mother at least for 2.5 years.
The point that I'm making
of
is
3 children.
Right. The point
fully grown.
Grown.
Not even living anywhere near our parents.
No, I moved out at 18.
You were in another state at that time.
Right. Well,
matter of fact, when you were back in the day, didn't it seem like you were anxious to move out?
You wanted to
Let
drive.
me get the hell away from here.
I'll even drive a tractor.
You talking to me? I got my own. I'm out of here.
Right. You were willing to do whatever you had to do to be independent. Responsibly independent was the goal.
I want to leave.
You didn't want to leave?
No, I said I wanted to leave, and now they don't want to leave.
Yeah, kids don't even want to get their license these days.
My son every morning is like with us, like we're his peers. DJ's like, hey, what are you guys doing? All 3 of us are sitting on the couch drinking coffee like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, he's a special
but
kid.
He's content.
He's very loving.
He is. But I'm just saying that grind to get out doesn't seem to exist. But here's my thing. If you're listening right now, or you know anybody in your world who can answer this question and is willing to talk to us, please call us right now at 323-284-7826. I want to know from anyone in our listening sphere, what is attractive about the ratchet lifestyle? Why? I want to know. No, I want to know what do you think is cool when I watch and what I've experienced filming a whole season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood with the fighting and the drink throwing and the for real.
There was one girl, what's her name, who actually seemed like she was going to throw up on cue just to throw it at somebody else.
She didn't. I don't think she threw up on
like,
cue, but she did her Nas. Yeah, she did. What? She threw up and tried to throw it on Nikki Baby. Even that name, Nikki Baby. I don't know. I'm not going to drag anybody because really. Anyway, I don't understand. I want to know what seems fun. When I find out people are watching, Tony, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, I always ask, what about this drama that is my real life do you find to be so entertaining? Why is it entertaining? Because if we can figure that out.
Wait a minute, Marla. You watch reality TV, other shows.
Sometimes, yeah, but not any of it. Not any. I don't watch anybody fighting, and if anything, it would be the Kardashians every now and then. I don't set any. There's no show on my DVR.
Can I ask a silly question?
Sure.
Being a middle-aged man, middle-aged white man, what?
Tony, you're admitting to your whiteness?
I know. What is ratchet? What exactly ratchet?
Good question, Tony.
Ratchet is.
Is it drama?
Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
It's kind of a thoughtless, mindless, turned up personality, or
it's the new term for saying ghetto.
Yeah, it's like
just
like you just a hot mess. It's the hot messness.
Yeah,
I get.
Yeah, so you're a hot mess.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's a hot messness. Is that right?
Thank you.
Hot messness. This my hot messness.
Anyway, here Marla said she wants to know about, ratchetivity. I actually want 323-284-7826. I want somebody to call in. So far, both callers have actually kind of supported Marla's perspective and her parenting style. Online, on social networks, we see a lot of people who absolutely disagree with Marla's parenting style, and subsequently that would be our parenting style because Marla didn't raise kids alone. But I need someone to call in.
You tell them, Dave.
I need somebody to call in, and because right off the bat, I literally would think that anyone who supports the other perspective clearly doesn't know what they're talking about. But maybe I could be wrong. So I want somebody to call in and set us straight.
Let me share this, Dave. Maybe, and I'm not gonna. This person knows who they are, because if you follow me on Instagram, and these are who I call Instagram cowards. So someone, Tony, writes this. I'd like this person to call in. Insane, batshit crazy. Stop embarrassing her. She's your daughter. Let her shine. Why are you even replying to these kids on here? Have Moniece explain how Instagram works to you. Stay out of her relationships and hold up a united front when she brings her significant other around you. The way that you treat her reflects and will affect the respect that they will have for her. You are harsh. Please watch how you are being portrayed. Reputation is a huge and carries for the rest of your life. Do right by her so you have her love. That is all that matters in the end. Hashtag schooled by a 29-year-old. Hashtag today's real talk at Marla. Well, let me school you, 29-year-old. Until you actually have raised
First of all,
Moniece,
I had to laugh at a 29-year-old trying to school.
That's what's funny.
It's cool.
Until you've raised Moniece, you've not schooled anybody. You're
and at 29, you and Moniece would be needing to raise each other because you're the same age.
Yeah,
Good
and at
luck.
29, I would suggest that you find Moniece's direct information and DM her and move in and take care of Moniece because
We dare
clearly,
you.
yeah. So you can show us how it's all done because clearly we have no more tricks in the bag, but you got it all figured out.
But again, I say this, and this is probably indicative of what we call this generation. It would seem like a child would value the parents' love more than the other way around. She was basically saying, so that your Moniece can be there for you in the future. What? Who needs who to be anywhere for anybody? It's the other way around. You need your parents, 29-year-old, like Moniece needs her parents. She's a new parent, and at 29, you might be a new parent as well. And I tell my kids all the time, only one of us has been in both positions.
Well,
I've been your age, and I've been my age. I've been all the ages in between, so you might want to sit down and take a listen.
I have a saying that I've used many times, Tony, on my Periscope, and I'd like to use it here today. You ready? Mm-hmm. Unless you can save me, unless you've been in me, or you've come out of me, you just don't matter. You don't matter that much.
Well, you still want to be able to impart some wisdom to somebody who's willing to take it.
That's not wisdom.
Check this out. Kelly Baxter says, first of all, she said the 29-year-old needs to go back to the womb and start over. But Lamont said the reason why they don't call in is because they can't call in. Their parents haven't paid their phone bills yet.
We got new people in our chat room. Welcome to the Marla and Dave Show. QWERTY79. QWERTY? What's up, QWERTY? These names, they amaze me.
Of course, you know what QWERTY is. It's the upper level of the keyboard for a computer or a typewriter.
I don't know that, Dave.
Oh, look at your computer. Look at the first, starting on the left at the top level. QWERTY. There you go.
Where?
That's what QWERTY means. Start at Q on your computer and go to the right.
Oh, QWERTY.
Yeah,
Dude,
you learn something every
do you
day.
spend time figuring these things out?
Okay, first of all, that's a way to set up. People know that. That's what a standard computer
I am
or
a
a
whiz
keyboard
when
setup
it comes
is.
to typing, Dave, and I type so many more words a minute than you. I use both hands without looking. Watch this.
I wanna actually.
You know that lady at the airport who doesn't have to look when she
funny.
books her flights?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me, bro.
Okay.
So I don't know anything
I
about
need
QWERTY.
to issue an apology for my generalization of this age of the youth today. Nicole Harris says, not everyone is lost. She hates the generalization based off a handful of people. She says the ratchetivity is the minority. I don't know if I can agree with that.
No, Nicole. Here's
Unless
the other
Nicole
thing.
is from the Midwest.
Here's the other thing.
If you're from one of the major metropolitan areas like New York City, Atlanta, California, you're going to have a lot of ratchetivity.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is? I think kids are also caught up, which unfortunately, a lot of these reality shows, mainly starting with the Kardashians, promote. It's gas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least, I prefer it coming out of this end. Let it go.
Excuse me. I don't even know what's happening. I feel like that I drank fizzy, buzzy lifting juice from Willy Wonka. Where they just rise up to the ceiling. Anyway.
Well, Hey Ray is in the chat room. She says she agrees with Nicole. She is a stepmom, and she agrees with Nicole Harris. Everyone is not lost. She has a stepdaughter, 23, who has 2 degrees and working on a PhD. We know not everyone is lost.
Well, yeah, no, that's the truth. We have a 22-year-old daughter.
A 22-year-old just graduated from Syracuse.
She graduated with honors.
She's a producer for ABC. So, it happens.
Right. But she had to make a decision to stay above the fray. So, and I want to talk right quick about a conversation that we actually had with our daughter today. And where Moniece essentially called and when I was speaking with her, she was, from time to time, she gets into this situation where she's generally wanting us to recognize that the negative things that she felt about Fizz or about Drew that we're seeing some of those traits. And what we keep trying to tell her is, Moniece, you know, we love you. We deal with him. And we support both of you because
as
you
Cameron's
have the baby.
Parents. Absolutely.
But the issue now is just because, which is interesting, I said I won't do my job as a mom if I don't always encourage you to rise to your higher self. And the one thing that I know as a parent is that all I want is for you to be a better person in life than me. Everything that I've invested in is to that end. So if you're choosing to dive to the bottom of the barrel, I'm never going to be that parent that's like, that's all right, baby. You go ahead and clap that ass on the pole. You're killing it, because that's what you choose to do. I'm always going to love you. But it is, if no one else in the world can tell you that you have more potential than what you're exhibiting, it should be me.
Well, the good thing about that is today was one of those days that it seemed like Moniece was definitely listening, and the conversation seemed to be beneficial.
She was quiet. She wasn't
because
saying
at the
anything.
end of the day, my real thing is we love Moniece, all the other people in her life outside of Cameron, i.e. Drew and anybody else that she deals with. We deal with them differently than we deal with Moniece. When we love someone with our children, our job is to teach. Our job is to inform. Our job is to actually support. And that takes different forms, and it looks differently depending on what side of the fence that you come down on. For Lexi, it looks different than it does for Moniece,
right,
which looks differently than it does for DJ. At the end of the day, our job is to give you the information that you need to be the best you.
Right. Absolutely.
And, you know, that's not our job for Drew. That's Drew's, I say Drew, that's Fizz's mom's job for Fizz.
Right. And regardless of the disparaging difference in how he may be parented or the support that she sees as support versus what she's getting, to me, that's my whole point, that you, as a mother, hopefully in the future, you're not going to say, oh, Cameron has decided to experiment with crack. That's great, baby. Let me go get you a pipe. That you're going to say to him, there's no way. That you have to destroy yourself on your own. I'm not going to actually hold your hand and cheerlead you through destruction for yourself. And like I told Moniece, you have the benefit of parents who've made a lot of mistakes, and we're very open with sharing. Make new mistakes, because you can learn from our experiences and apply that and live past 99.9% of the bullshit that we've had to deal with by our own choices. Because you got that kind of support from Marla and Dave.
Indeed. In the chat room, Kelly Baxter a minute ago said she cannot take on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood that they always say at the end of the day. The day never ends, and they're clapping their hands and rolling their neck and saying at the end of the day.
I know, and it's contagious too. I picked that up from the show. You know what? When the sun goes down, I'm gonna say that from here on out.
I think maybe they were saying it. I say at the end of the day, which I always do as well. So
I think
there
Drew
you go.
stole that from
at
you.
At the end of the day.
Oh, the
I'm
clap
rolling my neck.
Anyway, we'll be right back. Don't move. Stay right there. When we get back, we're gonna play a piece of Drew's comments on reality TV and respond directly to his accusations. Don't go anywhere.
It's time for the Marla and Dave Doghouse. Marla has something that should put Dave in the doghouse. Dave has something that should put Marla in the doghouse. You decide who gets a biscuit and who gets busted and ends up in the doghouse.
Marla's over there looking perplexed. I have
why?
absolutely
because
no idea.
I have gas. But now I think I have to pee. What the hell?
Okay, so Marla goes right into the doghouse, literally for farting and eliminating waste all over the doghouse. So all over the main house. So she has to be in the dog. Anyway, you know, yesterday we were telling you a little bit about this at the beginning of the show. Last night, I literally was trying to watch something that comes on very rarely. The Wizard of Oz, and I was watching.
You're already trying to counter doghouse.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Marla chose that time to literally jump down on the couch and start periscoping while the shows were going on. And then she tried to say that I have a problem with social networking in general. My thing is not really. I have a problem with it now. I'm trying to watch the damn show.
He does. He has a problem with it, period. And that's why he's going to go in the doghouse. I mean, he's going in the doghouse for two reasons.
No, Marla, okay, you guys, literally, please, again, you have to say whose side you agree with. Who gets the biscuit and who gets the bone.
You know, here's why Dave goes in the doghouse. Dave is a very quiet, private person. I'm very outgoing and gregarious and make a lot of connections. I'm just in life. Just because people...
Did you see how she did that? Dave is one thing. I'm great. I'm loving.
Okay, so are you going to interrupt my... I didn't say anything about being
Go
loving.
ahead. Go ahead.
But so the other day we were on the tennis court, and Dave slipped or did whatever. I didn't see him, but when the point was over.
Are you going in the doghouse on your own?
No. When the point was over, this is about whining, Dave. This is about your whimpery doghouse days. When the point was over, when we went to change sides, he sat down on the bench and said, Did you see that I hurt did you see me hurt my ankle? You know, this is a gentleman's sport. This is supposed to be a gentleman's sport. I was like, well, you clearly were okay. You stayed in the point. I was focused on the ball. Yeah, well, you know what? You could have at least said, you know, go ahead and play the point over. You could have been nice about it. I'm like,
okay.
And I really wanted to run in the house at that point. Now, this is going to sound really rude, but I wanted to say, are you okay? Are you on menopause? Do you need a tampon?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is your problem?
Okay.
I want to know why Dave is a nocturnal asshole by night and a whiny baby on the tennis court during the day. That's why you need to go in the doghouse, because you need to be one thing or the other.
So at least I'm so glad that people who actually saw the Periscope last night were somebody. Hey Ray says, too funny. Marla wouldn't stop talking, and Dave had to give her the blank stare and cold shoulder.
You started to say Dave gave her head. Dave, yeah, I saw that.
You wish.
Yeah, you were trying. That's what you wanted.
And at the end of the day, Nicole said, "Woof woof, Marla." But here's what I'm saying about the tennis court. I slipped. I could have broken my ankle, and Marla was so intent on winning the point. She just tried to make sure that, and she did win that point, by the way.
Look what Curdy.
Of course, she lost 6-3.
Look at Qwerty. Look at the type expert. Look at him. Look at the keyboardist.
Oh yeah, see, no doghouse for Marla. We know what that's about. Marla, button your shirt up. Anyway,
you know what, Dave?
This is how we do it on the Marla and Dave show.
They even kept me out of the doghouse when I had gas. That's how powerful your doghouse stay would be, buddy.
Thank you, Nicole, who just said Dave wasn't whining when he won today. Boom. Anyway, that's how we do it on the Marla and Dave show. We'll be right back. We're gonna get back to the show.
What's the action?
You'll laugh. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll get mad.
Shut up.
You'll get happy. But you won't be bored. This is the Marla and Dave radio show on the Universal Broadcast Network.
Now, here's what I'd like to do. Tony has a link. I'm going to do true or false again. When this clip airs, this was, I think, episode 8. I want you guys to be able to, Yep.
The one with you?
Yep, that's the one where he's crying. Drew crying Drew. I want you to be able to call in and ask what you like, but I'm going to do a true or false. So if you have a true or false question in regards to this particular scene, I'm opening up the phone lines. Call us, 323-284-7826. I promise to not bite your head off. I know it could be a little scary, but I want you to feel free to call. And if you're out of line, then I'll let Dave handle you. So let's play the clip and talk about it.
So.
Well, thank you.
Practice.
I will see you.
See you, brother.
After meeting with Marla, I knew I wasn't gonna get the results I was looking for without meeting Monique's face to face. So finally, she agreed to let me stop by this rehearsal. You got time for music, but not our son. What's up with you? What's been going on with your weekends? Because we're 3 weeks into this month and you haven't done a weekend this month.
This is what you do. You bully me.
I'm not bullying you.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just sitting here asking you, and I've been trying to help you for 5 years now, getting to our son's life.
Right.
And you have time to do. You have time to come rehearse.
I popped him out and left him on your doorstep.
You have time to date around. You got time to do everything else, but be with your son.
This is where you don't give me any credit, and this is what makes me mad.
I'm not cussing at you, so don't cuss at me.
I'm not cursing at you. I'm saying this is what makes me mad.
Nobody came here to bash you, yo. I came here to simply have a regular conversation with you about what's been going on my end, on trying to help you get your time in with Cameron.
I don't mean, I
had a conversation with your mom the other day.
I don't care about my mom.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to help you get your supporting cast back behind you. Because right now, Cameron is the one that's taking the loss.
It makes me so angry that my mom and Drew are talking behind my back, let alone talking at all. And I feel like they're trying to make decisions about my son without involving me and giving me the respect I deserve as his mother.
The way I react now is based off of the way that I have been treated for the past 3.5 years. This is the first time since the child has taken his first breath that you've asked me what I needed, how you can help. Because you don't care.
No, that's not true.
And that's how I feel.
That's not true, Moniece.
I feel like no one cares.
Listen, come here.
No one cares. No one cares.
Stop it. Come here. Stop it. Because if it's anybody
you don't care. You don't care. You have never cared.
Oh my God, yo. Stop it. If it's anybody that cared, it was me. Because I've always been trying to keep our son safe.
You don't care.
Period. But not until yesterday did I get a glimpse to know that you did not have a support system. You have to understand this. Like, seriously. Your mom told me yesterday to take you to court. You know how much we went through court and we said that we would never do that again? You're attacking me, and I'm the one that's been helping all this time.
I like to be able to say that I can't believe that my own mother would tell Drew to take my son away from me, but I do. And hearing it yet again makes me feel like I'm always gonna be fighting on my own.
This is how we fall out, and this is why it doesn't work. We have to learn to communicate on a positive level that deals with just Cameron. And it's healthy.
We're gonna keep watching the whole thing.
I love you, and I know that Cameron loves you, and I need you to figure this out, Mo.
Okay, unfortunately, wait, Tony, is there another clip because higher up on that same page? That's the one, because I just wanted to play. We played that, and hang with me for 1 second because we're going to respond to both of this. This is the one where Drew is crying. I wanted to address. He kind of said it. He said it in that one, but he said something in his confessional that is really what I'm after. So let's see if we can play it on the first clip. Talk to me.
I just feel like we share this custody, me and Moniece, and we've shifted that to just weekends, and still it's like pulling teeth to try and get her to spend the time. So I just feel like I'm being almost taken advantage of at this point.
First and foremost, you know that we appreciate the fact that you've stepped in to actually be the primary parent for Cameron, and that is what you are. But you know what you're dealing with. You were dealing with this when you dated her.
I feel like you guys should pick up the slack, Moniece's slack. That's what I feel like. And if not...
So you want me to be in a shared custody agreement with you? Okay, can I just say this, and I hope you understand it. This is a hard situation, but the shift is not gonna happen until you do what I told you to do in the first place. Get your ass into the courtroom, get full custody, and let her pay you what you need. At least you can be financially supported, and then go hire a nanny.
I'm not trying to take Cameron away from his mom. I'm trying
How do you take somebody away that doesn't want to be there?
Like I said, we're sharing the joint custody because I don't want to legally take him from her.
But you're not sharing anything. You're doing it all.
Exactly. So I was asking for the help from you, but if you're saying that you're not willing to give the help, then that's exactly what I'll do. I'll change it all on paper and disappear.
Well, you can't hold my relationship with Cameron hostage. I love my grandson to death, and there is absolutely no way that I'm gonna let Drew or Moniece remove Cameron from my life. When it comes to parenting, I can talk because I've done it. Let me tell you something. Neither you or Moniece meet the level of diehard dedication that I understood as a parent. But I'm...
Whoa.
Hold on.
Whoa. No, I will have to disagree with that.
Okay.
Diehard dedication would not have me sitting here and not have pressed play on going for sole, full, primary, custodial, whatever the you want to call it, custody of my son. And to be sitting here trying to help her get into my son's life, that hurts, man.
I get you.
That hurts. I don't know what it's like to not grow up with a mother. Do you know that? I don't know what it's like to grow up with a father. I didn't have that.
I get it.
But I'm doing it.
I get it.
I'm doing it.
I support you.
That don't give her that right.
It doesn't, but I'm not her.
And if you're gonna be a parent to Moniece, Marla, I feel like you should support her through her demise. Period.
Drew, she's supported. All we can do for her, we've done.
So if she's supported through that 50-50 custody, she should be supported through her 50%. Period, like my mother supports me.
Drew, I can't, I'm doing all I can do. Listen to this. Hold on. Dude, come here. Let me just sit over here next to you.
I'm now realizing that Moniece doesn't really have the support that I'm feeling like she had all of these.
All right, so let me just say this. First of all, one of our friends, our best friend, who is a lawyer, also called in and said one of the things that it seems like the people on Love and Hip Hop, specifically Drew and Moniece, in a lot of seems like a good population.
Let's clear up what full custody really means.
Don't understand what custody means. There's custody where some person is actually responsible for the decisions. That doesn't mean that it changes the visitation or the child going back and forth from one house or the other. That's something completely different. So the issue that it seemed like Drew was having was who was supporting the baby. And the funny thing about even the first clip that you played, his initial point was Moniece hadn't had the baby for 3 weeks. And she was only supposed to have him on the weekends.
Which, by the way, we were hosting.
Right.
For the record. Let's say that.
And that visitation was at our house, by the way.
Let's say that.
Okay.
I said it.
And so suddenly Moniece cries, and he suddenly forgets what his main issue that he came over to discuss was, that Moniece, you haven't actually been there.
And so what you basically and again, anybody who you've seen it now, some people who are in our chat room and on our show don't watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So these two clips are very relevant to the topic that we're having today, which is about parenting.
Okay,
I'm dying. Adult children.
Marla can't drink coffee in the evening, by the way.
What the holy
It's like beans. I guess the coffee bean juice is actually getting to Marla.
Anyway, so the bitter taste that I have in my mouth, first of all, you know, we can't roll time back. We can't. If we could, then I would probably, it would be, I might.
And unfortunately for Drew,
castrate.
we had this crystal ball. And I said, Drew, you guys don't want to have kids.
Facts. No, that's not what you said.
Well, that's the nice way.
Let me say what David actually said I need America to know how emphatic the conversation was.
Yeah, I was
pretty angry. You called Drew before he showed up. And at this point, Moniece wasn't living with us, but she was at the house all the time because it was through the relationship with Moniece and Drew that she was brought back into our lives on a regular basis.
That she started living with us again.
She wasn't even living with us. She was living with him.
Ultimately, after that, she was.
Only when she got pregnant.
Right.
They were going back and forth because she was living with Drew.
I understand.
Right. Okay, but anyway, so at this point, he had dropped her off at the house, and Dave called Drew and said, don't come to my house before you meet me away from my house so we can talk. And Dave told Drew, if Moniece shows up pregnant, man, you and I can go out for a drink, and we can both just drown our sorrows together because it won't be your baby, because you can absolutely control that. That was a quote.
And I also told him, if she shows up, clearly it can't be you disregarding what I just told you, because you would have raped her. Anyway, I'll get to that later. We have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead. You are on with Marla and Dave. What's your name?
This is Kelly calling from the East Coast.
Kelly, are you gassy? Because I've got a problem.
Kelly Baxter in the house. I'm not drinking any coffee right now. Okay. I just have one thing to say. I seem to remember being at dinner with Moniece at Outback Steakhouse in Long Beach, and her saying that she was never going to have a kid and never going to get married, and then next thing you know, here we have it. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Yeah.
Where are we? What's going on?
Yeah, Kelly, I want you to answer that for me. Where am I?
Yeah, can you call her?
What am I doing here? Where is this?
Who are we? What's happening?
I think, knowing Moniece the way I know Moniece, I have to say that I'm completely shocked and dismayed at the things that she says and the things that she proclaims. And I know she was raised better than that. So it hurts my heart to watch her in so much pain, one, because I can see it in her face.
Right.
And two, to watch her, she is so smart. She's so talented. And she's choosing a path that only God knows where she will end up. And I pray that she will see how much love is out there for her, especially through her family. I know that she knows that, but it's very sad for me to watch the show. It's hard for me to watch the show because I know a lot of the insides of it. And when I see the things that Marla's going through, with the naysayers, I'm old school, and I say old school rocks, old school parenting rocks, and I think the bigger your head, the harder you fall. And right now, Moniece's head is huge, So she's got to fall.
Yeah. Well,
and we love her, and we're going to love her through the fall, and which makes me want to smack Drew for saying what he was saying. But at the end of the day, he has no idea.
Yeah.
Some people just have no idea.
I'm very, what Drew said was shows his immaturity, and what a lot of those kids are saying on the show their immaturity. They truly show their immaturity every single week, and that's one of the things that unfortunately sells.
Kelly, you're calling us from the eastern part of the United States. Tell me, how can you say immature at 30, at 29?
Because
I don't get it.
Because immaturity is clearly a behavior. It is not about what's on your license.
That's correct.
Do we need to say a name? Rich Dollars. There's one for you.
I understand it.
There you have
it.
it.
Really?
I'm serious. I've never met. I didn't even think that there were 40-year-old immature men in the world like him, considering the experience that he's had in life. I'm just going to throw that out there. Meeting him and speaking to him on several occasions, my mind is... And every time I have a conversation, which is brief, with Rich Dollars, I sit there and even at the reunion, I couldn't talk initially because I was like, this man is used to communicating with children because he is one. The way he speaks is very much... like a rebellious teenage boy.
Well, Kelly, you were just mentioning in the chat room that they split verbs. Nobody can seem to speak proper English, as if they never went to school.
They text talk. It's text talk.
That's exactly
text
what it is.
talking.
Text talk. And they haven't learned, and the schools don't teach you how to really talk anymore because everyone's using
your
computer.
is not spelled Y-O-U-R anymore, Dave. It's U-R. Duh. Thought you knew. Take that. OMG. D-A-V-E.
And first of all, Marla, that represents you-are is Y-O-U-R apostrophe R-E.
I'm not talking about that, Dave.
Y-O-U apostrophe R-E.
It's not I. It's you.
Y-O-U apostrophe R-E.
Okay, whatever. I don't even want to talk the T-O-N-Y.
Anyway, Kelly,
and his IBG.
Thank you so much for calling and pray for us because you have been there and you know the deal. We thank you. Thank you for your support.
Kelly, as you run into people on the street, slap them and set the record straight. Thank you. Talk later.
Absolutely. Biff is always in the front.
Marla will have to bring everybody else up to speed.
I have to bring you guys up to speed. Thanks for calling, Kelly.
Bye.
Somebody in the chat room, Sun Blazing, says that she's a single parent in a healthy relationship finally, but she's been her daughter's pincushion, had to play both parts, good and bad. And, we'll deal with a little bit more of that comment when we come back from this next break. But Kelly, she brought up some good points there, and she's been there, and that's why we're all kind of baffled at the Monique situation. I was thinking that it was the camera itself on the set of Love and Hip Hop that actually drops the maturity level, and I was waiting for Marla to start behaving immaturely on the same show. So, yeah, hopefully, she's lasted for one season. If she ever gets back, we'll see what that camera does to her next season.
I'm kicking ass if I get back on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. You should tune in.
We'll be right back.
It's time to play the Marla and Dave Love Game. Here are Marla and Dave to explain how it works.
All right,
I want to roll the dice because my tail
Love
is hot.
Game. Tony, pass this to Marla, by the way, and she can hold up the die while we explain.
My tail is ready.
The MaD Love Game is a game that was created by Marla and me. It has the 3 categories of relationships that we think matter most: finance, communication, and red hot blazing sex. It's played by rolling the die.
Remember, we have separate bedrooms now, so it's not the same.
Well, we still have red hot blazing sex in the hallway. Anyway, so it's played by rolling the die. Marla, show the die, please. There you go. And the die has the 3 categories. It also has the MaD logo, which is, it represents wild. You get to choose whatever category you would like it to show and play and get the question from. Anyway, the questions are on the card. The answers are given by the research from the PW, the Pew Research Center. Marla, roll the die and see what category the question is going to come from today. Please.
I'm feeling gassy.
Oh, Lord, you keep the die.
Sex!
Oh, Oh, sex.
It's red
That
hot
is so
sex.
cool.
You know why it's red hot, though? Because the dice is red. It would be a red hot communication question or a red hot money question. It's a red die.
Today it's a red hot sex question. And the question for you, Marla, is can a man reach a sexual orgasm without ejaculating?
Let's ask Tony. Tony, can you pop one and be flaccid?
Yeah, you got to turn your mic on, Tony. He's so flustered he forgot how to use the
No,
board.
I haven't.
So
I
let
haven't
me
been
ask
asked
you a
that
question.
in a long
Can
time.
you be a floppy McFly and still
No.
ejaculate?
Can a man reach a sexual orgasm without ejaculating?
Yes.
Oh.
What?
Of
I'm just
course.
kidding.
I don't know. So we have two conflicting. Oh no, you guys are both saying yes.
Yes.
Can
Of
a man
course.
have an orgasm
Listen,
without
Dave,
ejaculating?
have you never heard of tantric sex? Do you know what that is? Like,
Actually, you can ejaculate inside. It's
What?
not
Can you
healthy,
ejaculate inside?
but it can happen.
What, it comes
Inside
out
of
your
a
butt?
penis?
Like, how does it?
It goes,
Inside of a penis?
Yeah.
Where
It's
does
not
it?
healthy though.
What does it do? Fill up? Is that a person who has big,
Might get me
gigantic
pregnant.
scrotum?
First of all, we're gonna have to come back to Tony on that one because he has to explain that. But quite honestly, according to the Pew Research Center, the answer is yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
Orgasm and ejaculation are two separate processes.
I can have
So
an
one
orgasm.
can occur without the other. However, more often than not, for a man, they happen at the exact same time. More often than not. First of all, now this gets to every card has a further discussion question, which makes this game extremely fun to play with a group of people. So the further discussion question for this card is, can you explain the difference between orgasm and ejaculation for a man? And then
Sure.
Tony's going to further explain what
How
the
you
hell
how you can
is
backdraft.
ejaculating
How
into
you can,
how you can
backdraft.
backdraft ejaculate as a man. I'm still waiting to hear that one.
Maybe if you. So let me just imagine. Okay, so I'm gonna get graphic. So if you are around kids.
No, first of all, explain.
I'm about to tell you.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Well, okay, I was gonna talk about the backdraft.
No, I'm not talking about the backdraft. I'm talking about what's the difference between ejaculation and orgasm
Well, it's
for
like
a man.
a woman. You don't have to me the ejaculation.
I said for a man.
Even for a man, the ejaculation is just your seminal fluid being projected out of your sex organ or genitalia, which would be your penis, is an actual ejaculation. But an orgasm is a heightened release of a sexual hormonal thing experience. Like helium. Like helium.
I'm going to let Tony
Like
give a shot at
a
this one.
helium sac.
Tony, what are you saying? First of all, explain the difference in your mind between, you said yes, so what would the difference be between ejaculation and orgasm for a man?
Ejaculation of fluid.
Okay.
Out of the penis.
Penis, out of the penis. We have to whisper it.
Had to whisper that.
Penis.
And then orgasm, though, I think there's a lot of orgasms where I don't want to
It's
get
a
too
feeling.
graphic. It is a feeling, yeah, where it's like a sensation. It's like eating a Snickers bar
And going, God. It's like this.
Eating a Snickers
guys.
bar,
Well,
then that would be very disappointing
show
sex
you.
for
I
me.
know.
It's like,
Let me
what
show
the
you.
hell?
But it
I'm
said-
getting fat too?
I was reading
Jeez.
this, and it's in Cosmopolitan. It says, yes, it is possible. Orgasm and ejaculation are two separate processes, so one can occur without the other.
But doesn't that seem to make more sense for a woman, though? Because you don't really see the fluid shooting out
But
anyway.
you still have it. It's not okay, listen.
At least you didn't until Brian
me just-
McKnight said what he
This
said.
one says, some men who can orgasm without ejaculating have perfected the art of off-flexing, whatever that is, their
Is that backdrafting?
pubic blah, blah, muscle during sex.
Oh, they just hold it. They squeeze
hold
the
it.
muscle.
So here's
so
the
they can
thing.
ejaculate without...
So here's the thing. Here's what I imagine, if you don't mind.
Okay.
This is what I think backdrafting is. Let's just call this.
Not backwash.
No. Let's call this oral sex, okay? And right
I'm
as
not
that
gonna watch
fluid
this, okay?
comes forward, you just block the hole. Just
Yeah, but
That looks painful.
Whose mouth is going to be on? Is that you have to actually have a mouth on your penis to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll take that for 20.
You just stop it. You
I'll
just
try
go,
that one.
And it's like bloof. It's like
Anyway, you can get
Oh,
your
Lord.
version of the Mad Love game, your copy of the Mad Love game, right there at www.marlandave.com. We're going to get back to the show.
David is a thinker.
I never do anything without thinking about it first.
Marla is a feeler.
I basically wear my personality on my sleeve.
But when Marla and Dave get together, it's like a match dancing with a firecracker. This is the Marla and Dave radio show on the Universal Broadcast Network.
I want to remind Claude Villani of SRG Music that it is the Marla and Dave show, and I played a song today that you didn't tell me to play. I did what I wanted. I'm so disrespectful. Ooh.
Marla, you forgot that it's time for the poll question.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Poll time.
I was taunting Claude Villani because it was fun for me because I can.
That's what you do.
Okay.
Anyway,
it's poll time.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, so Marla, give us the poll question.
Oh.
Last week or the last time we had a show, the poll question was...
Okay. The last time we had a question, the last poll question... Is Ben Carson trying too hard to compete with Donald Trump's sensationalism with his dramatic stories from his past?
Your options were yes, hashtag monkey see, monkey do. That's whack. Marla, thank you for that option. And no, hashtag just an open book. 75% of you said... yes, he's a monkey seeing as the other monkeys are doing. And 25 said, no, he's just an open book. He's such a great guy.
This week, the poll question is this. I want you all to log on to www.marlandave.com. Please cast your votes. We want to hear from you. Here's the question. What is the main ingredient to a lasting relationship? Is it A, money, cha-ching? Is it B, friendship? Oh, I like you. Or is it 3, great sex? Those are your options.
Okay.
So great sex, let me remind you. Friendship, or cha-ching.
All right.
Money.
You can actually on all of our social networks, you can find those poll questions, but the poll question home is right there at www.marlandave.com, right there on the homepage. Check us out. Give us your opinion. We want to hear from you. Back to the show.
Can you handle the truth? This is modern American dialogue in a mad world from two unique, fresh, transparent perspectives. This is the Marla and Dave radio show.
Okay, I have to just finish up by saying this. I did not appreciate the misrepresentation that Drew threw out there because anytime, only from Moniece and Drew, on the show because they both have been the recipients of our ongoing and nonstop love and support. And when I say support, it's also my job to as a parent, I don't care what age you are, to continue to challenge you, not break you, but actually encourage you to do what you have to do to be able to carry the responsibilities that you've created as an adult. And if I step in and I take away all of the responsibility from you, then you feel like you had a baby for me. And I've made it very clear that I did not want to have any more children because I have my own uterus and I have my own factory in sperm right there in Dave.
On the sperm factory right here.
So, and he's very willing at all times, whether he meets me in the hall or in my bedroom or in our bedroom, to be able to kindly oblige in creating children. And we've done that, and we've also taken full responsibility for ours. And now we have to help you over the humps do the same. So I was very disgusted and disappointed that came out of his mouth.
Thanks a lot, Fizz. That caused me a lot of issues at the house.
And I'm never going to stop loving them.
I was ducking all the stuff Marla was throwing at the TV. I couldn't even walk back.
But I couldn't believe it, and I really have to step back because it really just made me say, you know, if it were for me and about me and I wanted that baby, unlike them, I wouldn't be playing games. I'd have gone to court and taken the baby.
Well, no, I was going to say this. There's because of the editing, unfortunately, and Moniece and Drew, and that's Fizz, know that we've told both of them, when you have a hard time getting along, that's what the courts are for. Take each other to court. It wasn't one side take the other versus the other side. We always say take each other to court. When you have an issue and you're having an argument that gets out of hand, starts to escalate, call the cops. Get everything on record because you don't want to be in a position where you have to say, well, I thought you were supposed to. No, the courts say you either come get your kid when it's your time and you pay your money when it's your time.
And again,
put it on paper. And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
That's what's in the best interest of your son, of our grandson.
And I will say this, that's a lesson that you and I, Dave, once again, everything we deal with in our life and marriage, we've learned the hard way.
The hard way.
And someone
we wish right now that we had done the same thing.
Yes. And someone asked earlier about Monice's biological father, and there was so much anger from him when our relationship dissolved that we decided collectively, Dave and I, to focus on raising our children, which was first Monice, because we had become married and we were parents. And we never forced or insisted or spent our resources and energy taking him to court and making him pay child support. And really, I felt like it was going to be counterproductive at that point, because that was something that breaking up was not what he wanted to do. But the bottom line is he regrets us not making him do that at the time, at this point in his life, and we regret it, not because of us, but because of what has really happened to the validation of the relationship that he does or doesn't have with Monice. So in our immaturity, that was something that we learned, and so we shared that in love and in kindness to say, you know what, it takes away the sting of forcing someone to do one thing or another, and like Dave said, it's not full custody to get Monice out of Cameron's life, but it's to begin to regulate some of the things that they can't seem to regulate because they can't get along on their own.
And if Fizz ever starts tripping, we've told Monice the exact same thing.
It's a two-way street in our house.
Stop arguing. Stop fighting. Go to court.
And it's because it's for Cameron. It's not about them. You're not going to court because you're trying to punish the other person. In a conversation I was having with Fizz, he was crying and saying, I'm setting all this stuff up, including Monice doing the show, so she can earn money because right now I'm really struggling. I'm taking care of everything. I'm paying for doctors. I'm paying for schools. At the time, the baby was in preschool. And I said, you know what? No one fights to court. Take her to court. Get the money that you need so you can build a construct of responsible child care instead of piecing stuff together. I'm sure that would be a burden that his mother would appreciate, to be relieved, because she works full time as well. So we all do what we can do in love. But in reality, a parent like David and I and myself, many times, to go forward and do the things in my life that I've wanted to do, being a mother first, I've had to secure my children in responsible ways. And sometimes it was me saying, I just can't do this right now. Or here's a responsible way that I can get somebody to help me with my children to make life consistent for them. That's what I do. Not get mad at my mother because my mother's running the VA and can't stop
and there were times when we were upset that we didn't get a break, because let's just face it, we all agree, and those of us who've been parents know that it's not an easy thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. Sometimes you get frustrated, but at the end of the day, it was your choice.
Right.
They're your kids, and you might get overwhelmed, you might get frustrated, but no one made you do it, and it's not the grandparents' responsibility to take care of your decisions.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm always down to give support when they're making productive strides and going forward. I'm a little reluctant, Fizz. I know eventually you'll see this. Like I told you before, I'm very reluctant to be on the other end of the telephone for you to call me up when I look up and you're on Instagram smoking weed and hanging out and in the studio and all this hanging. Because in reality, that's your spare time, and that's not my responsibility. You're going to work, I got your back. You want to go to school and do something productive, I got your back. But if you just want to be, them boys in the street, that's up to you.
Anyway, this has been a great discussion. We have to do this more often, just the Marla and Dave only show. But we always love our guests, and we'll return with guests next week.
Next week, we got Layla Hathaway. We want Claude Villani to log in. This is round 2 of Is It Hot or Not on the Marla and Dave Show. Look, get your music submissions in. There's several people who've already emailed us. Oh, no, Dave. More gas. Here it comes. Get your musical submissions in. I don't know what. It's Tony. And get your musical submissions in. I learned blame from Monice. It's Tony's fault. Marla Talks Fitness @gmail.com. Email your MP3s. We'll play them on the show. First come, first serve.
And check out Marla's new weblog.
MarlaTalks.com. If you want to hear my uncut, unedited truth, that's where you'll go to find me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
See you next week.
Bye. Peace out.